Okay, so really quick because I know that my videos can get long, but I just want to come through and talk about really quick the stuff that I've been going through in the past few months. So I previously recorded it, but I wound up actually taking it down because I didn't like, you know, the quality, etc. But if you can't really hear me, there's subtitles. Should be able to turn the subtitles on. So pretty much the entire last year, 2020, I have been going through spiritual warfare. But before that, the Lord told me He was moving me to Houston within a week. He got me away, a place to stay, and I didn't have to pay a thing. So when I got to Houston, immediately when I first got here, it was an eerie feeling. As soon as I got off the plane, everybody was staring at me like I was a target, and I did not know why. It's almost as if everybody knew me, but I didn't know anyone. And so fast forward, I moved in. It's just a really weird feeling. I had initially felt weird about even getting on a plane to go, but I was like, I'm gonna just go through with it. The Lord told me to come here and revise the people. So when I got here, I didn't know how He was going to use me to do it, but I just continued doing what I was doing because obviously that's what made Him decide on me to begin with. So I just continued praying every morning and trusting God. So then that's when I got here. When I got here, it was just like, at first it seemed like they really didn't even really want me there. And or like a setup. And I was just like, it doesn't make sense because they invited me. But still, I knew in the spirit what that meant. I knew why that was. So when I got here, it's like people would be talking in other rooms, and that I wouldn't even be able to hear their conversations, but I would still know what they were talking about. And you might be like, maybe that was just your thoughts, maybe that was just you, but in reality, like, no. It really is like some sort of like sorcery or witchcraft where I can actually hear, like they can hear my thoughts and I can hear theirs. And so it's kind of weird because it's like it's everybody. And you're like, hold on, like if I tell anybody this, nobody will believe me. But the point of the matter is that if I felt like nobody would believe me and I didn't tell anybody, then nobody would ever know. But if I'm telling you and you don't believe me, then that's that. But there's a possibility that somebody out there can believe me or will believe me or have been through this and know that it's true. So I kept praying. Every single morning I would read my Bible. I would see demons. Like I would see things, like I would feel things staring at me. I would feel things following me. I would feel things just watching me, especially when I was reading my Bible, and they would just watch me with such just anger and malice and evil. You could just feel it, the heat just coming up off of them. Like they were just, like I knew that these were demonic entities because of how it felt. And so I just constantly started feeling very, very, very irritated all day, just really irritated. It was a weird irritation because in reality, before that, in 2018, I believe, yes, in 2018 or 2017, the Lord told me to ask Him for anything, and I didn't know what to ask for, and so He told me to ask for peace. And so I asked the Lord for peace, and He granted me peace, and I had peace, and it was an immovable peace that nothing could penetrate, nothing could touch. And so I just felt like a new person. And I asked the Lord what I could do to repay Him. And He said, just tell my people about it. And so the peace that I had, it was starting to like I knew I had this immovable peace. I had it for like a year, maybe a year and a half. I want to say 2 years by then, but I really don't know the timeline because I was just at peace. And like, it just seemed like everywhere I go, people knew about it. They would just like, it seemed like people knew I was at peace, and they would just stare at me in anger. like just so angry, and I would just be like, I know it's because of my peace, but if I told anybody that, they would pretend like they don't know what I'm talking about. So I just thought it was odd how they knew I had peace. I'm like, it must show on my face, or it must show in everything that I do, but in reality I wasn't doing anything different. I just had peace. The only thing I probably was doing different was thinking different. So that's when while I was here, I just would pray, and then I started getting irritated, and I was like, why am I so irritated all of a sudden? And I realized, like, I'm irritated because, well, I didn't realize this, but I just knew that I wasn't supposed to be irritated, because the peace, like, before that would have made sense. Before, me being irritated, upset, or being used by the devil would have made sense, but this peace had been blocking all of that for so long. I'm like, it's like I'm already in heaven. And so I just all of a sudden just started getting irritated. I'm like, God, I don't know why I'm being irritated. I'm only growing in you. I'm not, because I was literally growing. I wasn't going backwards. I wasn't staying stagnant. I was genuinely growing every single day with God. I'm like, God, I'm only growing with you. So why do I feel this irritation? Why am I irritated as if I'm actually going back to the stuff I used to do, or like I'm not, being better. Like I'm not trying to be better. And at first I wasn't getting the answer. But I kept just bugging God about it. Like, God, I don't get it. I don't understand this. Doesn't make sense. I'm trying. And God was like, he pretty much just is like, remember what I told you to do. Revise the people. And so when he told me that, immediately I was reminded while I was even there. Because I think in a way he had taken certain information until the right time, because people were watching, because demons were watching. And he took certain information until that time because he wanted me to, he wanted them to get comfortable. He wanted them to show up. He needed them to show up. And I knew that they would, most likely they would have showed up anyways, but I guess that information was, wasn't important at the time. So that's when he said revise the people, I was like, oh yeah, like you did tell me to do that. That is what I'm here to do. And immediately I'm like, okay. So then he showed me everything. Like everything's right on track. Everything's on time. You don't have anything to worry about. And so that's when I was like, oh, okay. So I can't. It kind of clicked to me that like I don't know information, even though I already know it and have known it the entire time, and I'm actually knowing it the whole time. I can't realize it until he allows that. Like that's how God works. Just like with Judas, they all said, where's Jesus? Who is Jesus? And Jesus sat in front of them and said, I am Jesus. I am Jesus. And I think he said it like twice. And they didn't know who he was until Judas kissed him, because the prophecy had to be fulfilled. So that's kind of how it is. It's like I know this information the whole time, but I don't realize it until he allows me to realize it, because the prophecy has to be fulfilled. So that's when one day I was just so frustrated. I was so irritated. I'm like, God, what's going on? What is happening? He told me to revise the people, and then another day it kept happening, because that's part of the prophecy, I presume. And he showed me a demon. And he showed me the demon that was actually irritating me and lying to me. And when he showed me the demon, he said, I'm going to, immediately when I saw the demon and I realized who it was, I said, Lord Jesus, please give me the opportunity to save this person. Please let me save this person. Please help this person. The Lord's like, that's what I'm trying to do. So just do what I told you to do. So that's when I continued on praying, etc. And things just progressively got worse. So last year in 2020, I just started hearing people talk. I started hearing them like talk to me. Like they were just talking. and just saying stuff all day. And like, I had been hearing different things and people talk, but I'm just like, I know that that wasn't my voice, but I just don't see how it could be anybody else's when, like, it's not, I don't hear it audibly with my ears, I hear it in my mind. So I just thought that that was very different, very odd. So that's when I just start praying and praying and praying. And like, I remember the Lord telling me, like, don't respond to them. And the thing about it is, I was responding, but the reason why I was responding is because I was just like, what are you doing here? Like, it just doesn't make sense for you to be in my mind. Like, I know, you know, if you, like, you know yourself, you know your own inside voice, you know God's voice. It doesn't sound like an extra voice unless he wants you to hear his voice. These were multiple different voices, and I'm just like, that's definitely demonic activity, because that's not normal. That's not normal for anybody to be able to hear other people's voices in their mind. Like, it's kind of odd. So that's not kind of odd, it was strange. But the Bible says, think it not strange when these things start to happen to you because of my name. So the person, or the demon that showed up, just start talking in my mind and just start saying all kinds of different things. I feel like I'm jumping ahead. At the end of 2019, the Lord, he told me on my way home in the morning, like 5, 6 o'clock, no, like 7 in the morning. I was on the highway and the light just shone down on me, and the light just came from the sky, like the heavens opened up. It was so gorgeous. It was so beautiful, but it was not like it was kind of in a way like shining down on me that almost I had to like cover my eyes, but also at the same time it was like, it was a warm feeling. It wasn't like hot, like when you get like, when you feel like you're getting burned up by the sun. It was just a warm feeling. And so next, you know, I just start feeling like everything just started clearing out from around me, like, and then like my mind was like brought to peace again. And I heard his voice, and he said, just show me something, anything. And so when he said that, I thought to myself, show you something? What do you mean? For what? What is this? And I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And then, but I felt it. I felt the feeling, and the feeling just felt like, I believe in you. I believe in you. Show me something. I want you to win. If you just show me anything, I will fight hard for you. I will make sure you win. And I started getting like uncomfortable because I was like blushing from all the love, just all the like, it was like a bunch, it was like, it felt like, I love you so much, I'm so intrigued by you, and you're so amazing to me, and I want you to win. I want you to win. I know it's you. I want you to win. And I was just like, what is this? Because I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was a new, first, I just knew that whoever it was believed in me, but for some reason I felt like, could this really be God? Because who is it? Because at this point, like, I know God knows who I am. I know God knows everything. So that's when I said, who is this? And then I started hearing a bunch of different lies around me. Like, it was a bunch of different people around me at all times just lying to me. And I kept hearing them say, is this person, is that person, is this person, is that person. And like, they even said it was the person who was in the car with me. But I looked over at that person, and it was like, no, it's not him. And they were like, don't trust him, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. Like, he's not nothing to be worried about. And so that's when I was like, but who is this? And then that's when Jesus was like, it's the Lord. And I was like, it's God. Then I was like, I didn't know how to feel at that moment. But then I remember hearing, you're a queen. No, I'm a king and you're a queen. No, I'm a king and I'm going to make you my queen. Excuse me. I'm a king and I'm going to make you my queen. Just show me something. And he told me to do something. And that was pretty much just throw away. I'm going to be completely honest. Just throw away some drugs I had. But I didn't usually take drugs. Like, I may have smoked marijuana, but I didn't usually take drugs. I had some drugs, like, throw that away. And so I was like, I don't know if I should believe it or not. But honestly, I'm like, well, because God is saying, like, if you throw it away, I'm going to make sure you never pick it up again. And I'm just like, okay, I want to. So, because that's what I wanted. Like, I didn't want to be taking drugs and stuff. Like, I really was just, stressed. I was so stressed. And honestly, I was being lied to. Like I said, it was demons lying around me all the time. So, when I got home, I went to the toilet. And I went to flush the drugs down the toilet. And that's when I heard, no, don't flush the drugs down the toilet. Because this is recycled water. And this could end up in some kid's cup. Like some kid could drink that. And I just remember thinking, like, that's the devil lying, because Jesus just told me to flush it down the toilet. So that's the devil lying to me. He's trying to keep me from flushing it. Then I heard, no, just throw it in the trash. Then I heard, like, no, flush it, because make sure it's gone. So I was like, I don't know what to believe. So I went back in my prayer closet. When I went in my prayer closet, next thing I know, I picked up my phone. A notification came on my phone, and it's really odd, because it's like I usually don't read the news. At the time, I really was not reading the news at all. So I picked up my phone, and that morning, Juice WRLD had died from an overdose of the same drugs that I had just been told to flush down the toilet. So I immediately got up and flushed the drugs down the toilet, and I took that as a sign, because I was like, if this really is true, let me see another sign. Let me see something I can't deny. And that's when I got the notification Juice WRLD died from the same drugs, and I went and flushed them down the toilet immediately. And God is like, okay, so let's get started. And so next thing I know, one day I just hear all these voices just screaming at me. And they're saying all this stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Like, do I believe this? Do I not believe this? And I remember somebody helping me saying, what do you think it is? Like, what was it like growing up for you? What does this usually mean? I'm like, it usually means that they're lying and trying to be funny, but they're being really evil, really. And they're like, okay, then that's what it is. So that's what I thought it was. So everything after that, I was like, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. I don't have to believe any of this stuff, because it's all a lie. Unless, I was still using my wisdom and discernment, because I asked the Lord for wisdom and discernment. I want to talk about that really quick. So before I got out here, the Lord actually told me to ask him for anything. Remember, I asked for the peace first. That's when I did no tax for it. So pretty much he gave me that. And the next time he said, just ask for anything. And I said, I want wisdom and discernment, because I wanted to wake my people up. I want to wake my people up. I want to, I want us to know we the true holy nation. I want us to know we the Israelites, the true Israelites, God's chosen people. I want to wake us up. I want us to be woke. And I want us to start living how we was intended to live. I want us to follow your commandments and statutes, so that we can truly be blessed with all the power and authority you wanted us to have, so that we can rule over every other nation. That's what I want. And I was like, and Lord, I know it seems impossible the way we live in now. We got cell phones, it's mixed, races, because like at this point, it's like, who would be the true Israelites at this point, since we're so mixed around, right? And mixed up and blended. It's like, I'm like, but I know you can do anything. I know with man it's impossible. With you, nothing is impossible. So the Lord said, I'm going to let you do that. And I said, Lord, I want to, this all the stuff I want to do. I told him all the stuff I want to do. And I was like, but Lord, if you're going to place me ahead of anybody, I don't feel fit. Like, not I don't feel fit. Like, I know I can be made fit. But Lord, I don't know. I wouldn't know how to do it. I wouldn't know what to do without you. I wouldn't know what to do without your guidance. Like, I would be lost. But I really, really want this. So Lord, just bless me with the wisdom and discernment. Like, I didn't use those words, but I said, just allow me to be smart enough. Allow me to be discerning enough. Allow me to be, give me the ability to even rule over some people, so that I can make the right decision, so that I don't lead our people into destruction. And the Lord said, I'm so glad you asked that. He smiled on me. He was so happy. And he said, like, I'm so thankful that you asked that. Like, you literally could have asked for anything. I know you know that, because I know your heart. And that's what your heart wants. And so he said, you remind me of somebody. And he told me I reminded him of King Solomon. And so, well, he really just said, do you remember that story about King Solomon? And then I was reminded about it. The parts about it I do remember, or have known, because I haven't read the whole Bible front to back. Like, I was working on it. So when I was reminded of that part, of the story, I was like, I love that story. I do remember that. And he was like, that's who you remind me of. And he was like, so I know that just like anybody, you want to be like really, well off too. You want to be able to have riches and all this other stuff, even though you don't care about that stuff when it comes down to ruling over the people like you intend to. That's all you really care about. But I'm gonna give you all of that stuff too, just like he told Solomon. So honestly, like, I knew he said all of that, but honestly, I was just still so happy he said yes to the wisdom and discernment, because I'm just like, you're gonna make me, qualified. You're gonna qualify me to be able to do that. And I know if you do it, it's gonna be better than anybody. Like, what you gonna do you're gonna do it so amazingly, so far beyond anything I could ever imagine or understand. So I was just so excited that he, had chosen me. So that's around the time he gave me my assignment. So before that, I was just praying over the city, praying over different pictures of young black men who had died in my city. People were dying every day. I would just pray for them and their families. And the Lord came to me and told me, you're making a difference. You're really making a difference with your prayers. Little do you know. But also he told me, like, you're a demon hunter. You have been a demon hunter your entire life. And I knew that. But it seemed like the only time I really thought about it is when he was reminding me. Even though I knew it my whole life. So it's like, no matter what I'm doing in a spirit, I'm always hunting demons. So little did I know, the year to come, the time to come would be like everything will start to reveal itself, my purpose, my calling, everything in my life that, I had to put the puzzle pieces together. It was all being formed into one puzzle. All the puzzle pieces were being put together and everything was being formed and made whole. So, jump back to what I was talking to before. So I'm in my prayer closet and I hear all these voices and they're sounding like just the people I knew growing up and all the different like it's the worst parts of everybody that's coming out. The worst parts of everybody. Not always. Some people were, some people were supportive at times when they felt like being it. But I just remember everybody was lying, and then I remember the Lord said, how do you feel right now? And I said, I feel like I'm at my lowest. And the Lord's like, so you feel like you're at your lowest right now? And I said, yes. And the Lord said, well, get up and fulfill the prophecy. And I thought that that was a joke because everybody was laughing around me. And like, I'm hearing all these different people in my mind. And I know it sounds like, oh, that's schizophrenia, but you don't. I'm telling you, look it up. You cannot develop schizophrenia at like age 20 something. If you have schizophrenia, it will be identified and diagnosed as a child. You are born with it. And schizophrenia is not even real. That's a whole nother story. All of these mental illnesses, etc., any of this stuff is diseases. You are born perfect in God's image. You were born in full health. So if anything is wrong with you, that's a demon. When Jesus went around healing people and performing miracles, the only thing he was doing was lifting demons off of them. They were already really in good health and full health. It was demons oppressing them. So we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against principalities and powers of darkness. So I realized, like, this is, I know this for a fact now, but even the times I didn't know it, I realized that was the case. So that's when the Lord said, get up and fulfill the prophecy, but I thought it was a lie again because everything else was lies around me. But I got up. Immediately I just got up, and it wasn't even me. Like, the Lord just gave me the power to just stand up. I literally just stood up, and I hadn't gotten up in like 2 days. And so that's when I went on, and the Lord told me, it's time. And when he told me it's time, I heard the angels. They were like, oh my gosh, he's coming back. He's going to do it for you. And such and such. And I was just like, really? And the Lord is just like the Lord is like, be quiet. But no, I heard the angels also saying, like, are you sure? Are you sure, like, you want to do this now? Like, you're sure? Like, you're serious? And the Lord is like, yeah, it's time. And so the Lord pretty much just chose right then and had decided right then that it was time to come back. It's time to come back. It's time to rapture everybody. It's time for revelations to come to pass. It's time. And the angels is like, for you? Oh my gosh, for you? And I'm just like, I don't know if it's for me. I genuinely think it's for everybody. Like, it's really time. Like, first of all, God is perfect. So that means that if we're even having this conversation, he already knew what's going to happen. And everything is according to his plan. So I don't feel like it was a on the whim decision, like, oh, I'm gonna just decide to do this now. No, it's everything is leading up. Everything is happening how it's supposed to. Everything is, the prophecy is fulfilling itself before our very eyes. He said, get up and fulfill the prophecy, which means it already was being fulfilled. So when he said that, that means that everything was aligning up. It was time for him to say that. So everything is, the prophecy is being fulfilled, and it's time. When he said it's time, I felt it. I felt the warrior in me just like, yes, it's time. I'm ready. Suit up. And immediately I just was like, I felt protected. I felt strong. I felt like whole. I felt great. Fast forward, I'm in my prayer closet. I'm still battling. I'm just fighting a bunch of different demons. I'm fighting, like, I feels like there's hundreds in all, like, surrounding me. Like, really, it feels like it's like thousands, probably like millions of just different demons. Like, it's people, but it's the demons they carry. So they're all attacking me, and I'm just fighting them all off. And that's when, like, excuse me, so I'm fighting the demons off from all angles. See, now I'm losing my track of mind, excuse me. Holy Spirit's gonna bring that back. But so I'm in my prayer closet fighting all these demons from all different angles, and I just feel like I want to fast forward because I can't. I'm sorry anybody watching, but now it's like I'm fighting them again, so I can't really remember what I was gonna say. But anyways, so around this time, it's like I'm fighting hundreds, thousands, millions of demons, and they're all just like pummeling down on top of me, and just like it feels like an unfair fight, but it's still, I'm still like kind of winning, and they're like, I'm still winning, and they're like, you're outnumbered, etc. And like Jesus is like, all you need is me. So I remember everybody that I've ever known in my entire life being there, and just the closest people to me were the most malicious, and they were saying, how is it you? How is it you? Like, it's not. And then some are like, I knew that the whole time, but yet still they're like, so what? I want it to be you. And then they just kind of decide right then to all team up against me and try and keep me from my destiny, thus becoming the enemies. But I still fall for them. I still fall for them because I saw the spirits behind it. I saw the devil. So, okay, so this is what I was going to say. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So, I'm in my prayer closet. It feels like I'm fighting millions and millions of demons, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm just like, every single day, Lord, please take this burden off my back. I know you're saying, like, but you know what's going on. But like I said, like, he reveals it to me at certain times. Other times it just feels like, what is going on? And that's part of the warfare. So next thing I know, this is when, I didn't want to name drop, but kind of decided if I should. I might as well. So I'm gonna jump ahead again, or back again. In 2018, I was praying. I was just praying and reading my Bible, and I was like focused. I was so focused. I was like, I want this Bible, I want these words to empower me. I want these words to speak through me. I wanna learn everything it is I can learn out of these words. I wanna, I want the truth. I want the truth. And so I'm just reading the Bible, and I'm focused like I usually am when I'm reading the Bible, and I'm just trying to apply it to any part of me and fight and learn as much as I can. And I remember hearing, learn as much as you can right now, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to do that. And I thought to myself, learn? I can't learn? Like, I've never not been able to learn. And that's when I realized, like, that was part of it. That's what they said, that's part of it. They revealed to me that's part of the fight when it comes to time. And then I remember it was revealed to me, like, it was just like a little glimpse, like they was like revealing, like taking the curtain back a little bit, and I felt like this evil, like, oh, I don't want you to learn, I don't want you to do nothing, I hate you, I hate to see it. And it's like, that's when he was like, yeah, that. So learn as much as you can right now while you can, trust me. And so I was like, okay. And I started learning as much as I could, because I was like, I love learning. I love learning, and I couldn't even imagine not being able to. But after seeing that, I realized that person wanted to be able to take either that away from me. So I just listened. That's when in, I think it was in that week, but around this time, I don't want to be specific, around this time, this person came to see me. And when this person came to see me, he just gave me a thumbs up. I remember reading my Bible, and I just remember somebody tapped me on my shoulder, on my right shoulder. And I looked over my shoulder, and it was LeBron James. And he had his thumbs up, and he was like, his eyes just said like, I am rooting for you, and I am a big fan. And I was just like taken aback, because like I'm nobody at this point. Well, I'm feeling like I'm nobody. I know who I am, but to everybody else, I just look like a regular, just nobody. Or so I thought. And like he showed up in the spirit. And when I looked over my shoulder, and I was like, oh hey. First I was kind of agitated. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little irritated because I was so focused on my Bible, and I was like, who is that tapping me on my shoulder? But it wasn't like, I guess I was just like, I didn't know who to expect. And then when I saw him, he was like taken aback, like scared for a second. And then he was like, wow. And then he was like, thumbs up. He just gave me a thumbs up. When I saw his whole character, I was just like, wow, you're a really good person. I feel like I may have said this before in a previous video. I don't know. But I've been saying a lot of stuff over and over again, but this is for YouTube, so I have to say it again. So I'm like, wow, you're a really good person. And I wasn't starstruck by his name here on earth. I was just kind of amazed and like appreciative of who he was in his soul. He gave me a thumbs up and just like, keep up the good work. And I'm like, I gave him a nod, like, and then I just went back on praying. And then that's when, after I went back on praying, I didn't even realize what happened. I realized what happened, but I wasn't like, oh wow. But then that's when Jesus was like, and I was like, oh, that was LeBron James. And then Jesus is like, yeah. And he's like, I really love him. Pretty much, that's what he said. Like, but so LeBron James is on a mission too. He has been assigned in these last days to also save people, help people, and fight off these demons. So I just thought it was really amazing to see somebody who, despite, you know, all the clout and all the hype, it seems like it's around other people's names here on earth. Like, that's really that person in the spirit. Like, really a good person in the spirit. Like, I used to think that everybody's like that. But Jesus showed me that, like, that's not true. It's not always that. So, it was just, I thought that was great. But, so, fast forward, and I'm in my prayer closet. And LeBron James comes back again. And this time when he comes back, which is actually the third time, talk about the second time, another time. But this is the third time he comes back. Actually, I can say it the second time really quick. The second time he comes back, he's coming back, he's saving me, and he just carries me off, and he's just like, I just can't let you get done like that. And he just carries me off and he hides me. And this is while I'm fighting demons. This is in the midst of all of the warfare. So the third time he comes back, he comes and he taps me on my shoulder again. He's like, look. And when I look up, it's God. Like, we're in his throne room. And it's just this really, his room, his throne room where he sits is so big. It's like, it's so large. It's like two of our earths. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's way more, it's way bigger than the entire earth, all of the land on earth. It was so massive. It was so massive, and he is so big too. And like, everything was in gold, and the glass and the floor on the floor was made of gold. Everything's made of gold, even the floor. And the gold in heaven is so high quality. It's like glass. It's like clear as glass. And he taps me on my shoulder, and I kneel to God. And he's like, he nudges his head like, kneel. So I kneel to God, and it's kind of like a warrior kneel. And when I kneel to God, I realized, like, I just see God, and I'm just made whole in his presence. Immediately, I'm made whole in his presence. He's so brilliant. Like, he's just beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful and gorgeous. I'm just immediately made whole in his presence. And I just feel complete. I don't feel anything. I was just fighting demons. And it felt like I was going to die. And then immediately I'm in his presence, and it's like, I don't feel any of that. I feel complete peace, whole. And I understand how being in his presence fully, nobody ever sins. You can be perfect. Then it makes sense how Jesus was so perfect, because he was always in God's presence. And when you're in God's presence, you don't ever sin. There's no reason to, like, you don't even think about sin. And that's how it's made possible. We all can live in his statutes. That's how that's made possible. Because when you're living in his presence, you don't ever even think about sinning. So I remember just kneeling and just feeling so complete, so whole, so amazing. And then I'm just kneeling and just staying in his presence for as long as possible. And that's when God is like, he blocks out his face with a light. His face, I can't see his facial features, because it's like a holy light shining that's blocking out his facial features. And I remember just kneeling at his feet, and it was like a long, long, long pathway to him, miles and miles and miles. And I just remember, I was like, who could ever walk that far? And then God showed me that you don't have to walk. You don't have to walk. He just pulled me forward. And it was like amazing. So that's when my family members were fighting. So the Lord told me to tap on my father's shoulder. Then he kneeled, and then everybody else came behind and kneeled. So moving forward, the end of 2020, that whole year pretty much went like that. But that was my, like, that was me being allowed to be in God's presence. So in the end of 2020, like, a lot of different stuff happened. I got into a car accident. I felt God. Oh, that was another time that LeBron saved me. So LeBron actually saved me when I was in a car accident in the spirit. And at the end of 2020, that's when the Lord gave me the opportunity to deliver my sister. So one day, I just was, I started listening to Sanach Waymaker, and I started reading the Bible. I just started praying so hard. And while I'm praying, I heard the Lord say, it's coming off of you. It was demons on me. And I felt like I was literally plastered to the wall with a bunch of demons just covering me. Like, that's what it was in the spirit. And I assume it's due to my own sin, but in reality, like, I know, because earlier in the year, I heard, the demons talking and saying, the worst demons are placed on you because of what you're able to do, who you are. Because someone asked, they said, is she just a normal person? Like, why is the worst demon? Like, this is the worst demon I've ever saw. This is like you doing the worst to her. Why is the worst being placed on her? And that's when I realized, like, the conversation was because of who she is. And so, a really horrible demons are placed on me in order to keep me from taking demons off other people, because I am a demon hunter. And so the demons start coming off of me. I heard the Lord say, they're coming off of you. And I just pray. I'm praying. I'm focusing on the Bible. I'm listening to the Bible and praying, and listening to gospel at the same time, creating a presence that the Holy Spirit can be in. And I feel the demon coming off of me. So the demon is coming off of me until eventually the demon falls off dead. And then I see in the spirit the demon dead, just gone. So since I'm dropping names, I might as well say that, NBA Youngboy was there, and he actually helped pull the demon off of me. So that's when, you know, after the demon came off of me, I saw people in the spirit. I saw family members in the spirit. People were helping me. People were actually fighting to get it off. NBA young boy really fought for me and really pulled that demon off of me. He was rooting for me. So that's when a lot of different things start trying to work itself out in the spirit, or like different people who I thought like was against me or had something to do with it, like I'm finding out that they were fighting for me too. And like all these different people fighting for me. And you might say, why aren't you dropping their names but you're dropping these celebrity names? I could drop their names but you wouldn't know them. So that's when I'm fighting off in the spirit. So then the next day I just feel compelled to start praying. So I start praying so hard. I'm listening to the Bible, I'm listening to the gospel, and I'm praying. I remember the day before that I heard them say, "You being trained. It's about to be a fight. Get ready for your fight." And I hear people saying like, doesn't matter, she ain't gonna win, or this and the third, like super confident. And I might as well say it, like it was money out, y'all. It's like, it's not gonna matter, it doesn't matter, she's not gonna win. And like I remember I walked into the bathroom in a mirror and I was offered $2 million to just quit. And I was like, no. Like, first of all, I couldn't accept that even if I tried, because this is who I am. For me to ever accept some money to not be who I am, wouldn't that mean I have to die? That doesn't make sense. So, because I'm born a demon hunter. It's like in everything that I do. So, next thing I know, it's the next day, they like, the fight is coming up. And I remember early that day I woke up and they were saying, but they're talking all day. And the reason why I'm able to tell you what was true is because now I know that it's true. Around the time, it was a bunch of different stuff being said that I didn't know what was true. So around this time, it was like, it's about to be a fight coming up. It's scheduled. We got the time, but they didn't say the time. And they were like, don't miss it. So throughout that whole day, they're like, so you're going to try to make her miss it because you're scared for real, but you're trying to make it seem like you're not scared. And like, they was like, and God was like, it doesn't matter. She's not missing it. There's no way she's going to miss this fight. And I didn't even know when the fight was, what day it was on or whatever. I just knew it was coming up because I could feel it. I could feel what was true. I could kind of feel it. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't really know until it happens. So, like before this car accident, I was told in 3 months time you're going to crash that car. 3 months passed and I crashed the car. I felt that it was true when I heard it, but I just didn't know what was true. So I found out that was actually true. So next thing I know, the day of the fight, I get up, I walk to the store, and I'm about to go to the park and just try to clear my mind. And I remember Jesus, like I can feel like this demonic entity trying to push me towards the park, like go to the park. Excuse me. But Jesus is like, nope. And I felt Jesus pull me back home. Jesus literally redirected my whole body. Like, this is when he actually took control of my body. And he didn't violate my free will, but he fought the devil off of me and redirected me back home. So I felt it. Like, I felt something pulling me in that direction, but I went this direction instead. So I get home and I just turn on prayer. I just turn on the Bible. I'm listening to the Bible and I'm listening to gospel and I'm praying. I'm just praying over and over again. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And I'm just praying this prayer over and over and over again. And that's when, like, I hear God directing me. God is like, where do you feel that demonic energy coming from? Because it's oppression. It feels like an oppression. Like somebody is trying to, it feels like weighing down on me. So he's like, direct it to where you feel it. So I start directing it towards a family member that was in the house. That's when he's like, say it out loud. So I start praying out loud. First I was praying in my head. I start praying it out loud. When I start praying it out loud, I can feel this spirit fighting me. But it's not the family member. It's the spirit that's trying to possess the family. That has possessed the family member. Is trying to possess the family member. Has possessed the family member, excuse me. So I go in there, and the Lord's like, get up and go in there and pray. So I go in there and I pray. The Lord's like, take her hand and pray. So I take the family member's hand and I start praying with the family member. That's when the family member, after just praying the same prayer over and over again, I can feel it. I can feel stuff happening in the spirit. Like the family member keeps falling in and out of sleep, and the Lord is like, that's the devil. The devil is trying to keep that family member from focusing. So don't let go of her hand and keep praying. So that's when I don't let go of my family member's hand. So my family member wakes up and it's like, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, I can't keep praying with you. And I was like, at first I was like, I don't want to let go of your hand. I'm going to keep praying. I kept praying. I kept ignoring it. I kept praying. I didn't even stop praying. I just kept praying and ignoring it. And then the family member was like, let go, pulling off my hand. I didn't want to forcefully hold on to the family member's hand. So I let go. And then the Lord is like, don't let go. Don't go in there and sit down. Stay right here and pray. So I kept praying. And I took hold of the family member's hand again, and I just ignored anything else the family member was saying. I'm like, because the Lord's like, that's not the family member, that's the devil. So I just didn't listen to anything else the family member said after that. I kept praying. Next thing I know, I got instructions. Get down on your knees. So I got down on my knees, and I could hear the devil like, pretty much was like, the devil said, yes. Bow down to me. And it said, in the way the devil said it, he said it in a way like, I need you to do that in order to feel powerful. And that didn't make sense to me, because I feel like anybody who knows that they're powerful doesn't need that, especially not from me, who you're trying to make it seem like don't have no power at all. But then immediately I knew, like, I didn't know who I was, but you don't know how obvious you are in admitting that, even when you're not admitting it. But still, the devil was like, you want to get your family members, then you want to do this. I'm just like, I can't argue with you. I can't fight you about this. I want my family members back. I don't know what they did to get in your possession, but if I got the opportunity to get them back, then I'll do what I got to do. So I'm on my knees and I'm praying. And the devil says, hug your mother. It might be the last time. So I hug my mom. And she bursts out crying. And then when my mother starts crying, I'm crying too, super hard. And that's when they're like, get your sister. And like at the time, it did look super like, it really just looked like nobody wanted to be in this position. Nobody would ever want to be in this position. It's horrifying. It's like, I always hated scary movies because it's some truth to every single scary movie. And it's like that. Like being in hell. So I had to pull my sister out of hell. And my mother. And the devil was like, just take your mother and go. So I got my mother back by then. But he's like, just take your mother and go. You're not getting your sister. It's not just my sister. She's pregnant with my niece. So it's actually my sister and my niece. And my niece is due at any day now. So I'm like, I can't. I gotta fight for her. So that's when the devil's like, so hug your mother because you might lose and this might be the last day. This might be the last time you ever hug your mother. In a way saying that you're gonna die. if you lose. And you're going to lose everything too. But I knew I wasn't going to lose, because I knew Jesus would never, ever let me lose. So I'm like, so I'm fighting for my sister. But also at the same time understanding that it requires me to actually do what I have to do. Like, what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to make it seem as if I couldn't have lost. Because if I had decided that I don't have to do anything, I'm just be lazy, or I'm just not try, maybe I could have lost. You know, and plus Jesus is fair. So you don't go into the fight and not do what is required to win the fight and still win. So yes, I did have to fight with everything I had still, or I could have lost. So I get my sister. I'm like, no, the devil was like, you might as well take your mother and go. But I see my sister, and she's crying, and she's like, just leave me. And I was like, no. So I decided I'm gonna fight for my sister. I let go of my mother. I didn't want to let go of her, because I didn't know if that was the last time I'd ever be hugging my mother. And then I started fighting, and that's when I hear instructions like, hands lifted up, and your hands have to be lifted up. Excuse my pits, but your hands have to be lifted up like this, hands flat, because I was carrying something. Like, I was told that I was carrying an entire building, and I was carrying a whole building in the spirit. And so it had everybody in it, I guess. But I'm lifting something up. I'm carrying something out of hell. So, I have to do that. And you might say, that doesn't sound hard. But then I'm praying the same prayer over and over again. Can't stop, can't make a mistake. Every mistake counts. I'm on my knees, and they're starting to like swell and bleed now. And also, like, the devil is trying to distract me, doing everything to distract me. It started off like I can hear everybody outside talking about it. Like, everybody outside is trying to pull my distraction away, like pull my focus. And then I hear, you have to focus, otherwise it's not going to take you serious. So I focus. I can't, I'm repeating the same prayer over and over again out loud, and my throat is starting to burn because it's dry. My lips are so cracked, and I just want to like lick my lips and all of this stuff, like, and then the devil is just lying, like anything the devil can say, anything that would distract you, usually, like the stuff that you don't like. This is like, he's saying any and everything, a lot of things that will provoke you to like respond. And you might say, it sounds easy. No, it was not. It's not. It wasn't. And I'm fighting to focus, and I'm fighting to, not respond. But it's made easy because it's for my sister, it's for my family, and for them I would do anything. So by then it's made easy. I'm like, I'll stay here for the rest of the year if I have to. I'll stay here for the rest of my life if I have to, if it means getting my family back. So by then it's easy, but in reality it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. I didn't even know that I had that much strength. I didn't know I had that much strength. And so after like 3 hours of praying, doing the same thing over for like 3 hours, I have to focus on the image of my sister. And while I'm focusing on the image of my sister, it's changing from the image I saw to begin with, because it didn't look like my sister in that picture. I knew it wasn't her. It's changing into her in heaven, like just great.